Hi, I'm Wyatt Cash, Vice President for Content Strategy at FedScoop, and we're here at the IAC Executive Leadership Conference in Williamsburg, and our guest is Van Hitch. Van is currently a senior advisor with Deloitte Consulting, and certainly well known as the former CIO at the Department of Justice. Van, thanks for joining us today, and
great to be here.
Appreciate you taking time to talk to us.
Sure.
Probably one area that I'd love to get your thoughts on, there's a lot of discussion going on about FITARA and the ability to give CIOs greater traction and the ability to manage their IT investments. And I was curious your perspective on it, having been a former CIO, and also the fact that you're helping a lot of agencies in one capacity or another. What's your take of what the difference is between FITARA now and what was before FITARA?
Well, I'm a great advocate for FITARA, only because I spent a lot of time as a CIO, and I feel good about what I was able to accomplish, but I know the roadblocks that you have and the difficulties you have, and I think FITARA is going to move that a little bit. It's going to help. So I would just say I would be very happy to assume the role of CIO today compared to when I did, in terms of having at least FITARA as part of my toolkit. It does give CIOs an opportunity, more of an opportunity, to run the IT business of a big department than any other piece of legislation in the past. So for that, I think it deserves a lot of credit.
What would be an example of what you think you could do with that today that you wouldn't have been able to do when you were a CIO?
Well, there's a lot of areas. I mean, FITARA focuses on a number of things. One is budgeting. Other is acquisition. It focuses on human capital from an IT perspective, and then certainly program management and governance. And so I'll just start with budgeting, because budgeting is obviously a key thing. If you're going to run an organization like a business, you've got to know what the total investment portfolio that you have is, how much it costs, how do you get the most out of that investment, and what are you really investing in the right things? Are you investing in things that are really going to benefit the department and to accomplish its mission? So in the budgeting area, FITARA really calls for the CIO to be a key player in all aspects of IT budgeting. And you might think, well, that's a foregone conclusion. Well, no, it isn't. Rightly or wrongly, over the years, a lot of key meetings associated with the IT budget, the CIO was not necessarily at the table for. But currently, uniformly across and that varied across from department to department. What FITARA does is say the CIO must be there. They must be there right from the very beginning. From when you begin to formulate an IT budget, they must understand all the IT investments across the whole department and where they're going. So it's whether it's budget formulation or budget execution, they need to be there. And in fact, they need to approve all of it. And everybody has to sign that the CIO was there, and the CIO has to sign that they were a part of that IT budget and played a key role in approving it. And in fact, in the specifics, for IT expenditure of different elements within the IT budget, the CIO really has to approve all IT expenditures. Now, you might think that's impossible, and it probably is, but they can have what they call an assignment list of people that they trust and who they can provide with, these are the things that I'm interested in, to actually help extend them in doing that review. So a CIO can be as involved as they need to be in all aspects of the IT budget. Another key area that's related to the IT budget is how do CIOs make sure that even under the best of circumstances, they don't miss parts of what is in the budget.
Right.
Because for years and years, there's been IT hidden, either intentionally or not intentionally, in different areas of the program budget. So what the CIO really needs to do is to partner with the CFO and to gradually, through the chart of accounts and through the reporting, available through the financial systems is to gradually get new policies and procedures implemented, which will make sure that all aspects of IT are visible to the CIO. And that's going to take a little while to get really, really good at that. But they can start immediately. So that's two areas of real impact just in the area of budgeting. As I said, there's many other areas also.
Mm-hmm. Well, it certainly sounds like one of the challenges is the transparency of the numbers. I'm wondering, with the Data Act coming kind of on stream, do you feel that there will be, in fact, better, more transparent reporting to help expose where that IT spending is, so that more people can really see where duplicate spending is happening or where there's missed opportunities?
Yes, I absolutely do. I think transparency brings the light of day, sunshine, and as I said, rightly or wrongly, there's pockets of IT spend that are in the budget that actually nobody knows about, even today. And through transparency, you can gradually get those things out. And I think that's one of the benefits of the Data Act. And as you know, the IT dashboard, through the IT dashboard, the CIO is actually responsible for making sure that they get all that major IT spend out there, and they need it for their own purposes to manage it and provide oversight for it, but they also need it to make sure that all the different constituencies that are interested in the beneficial spend of government dollars, right, whether they're in Congress or GAO or the public, they all get the benefit of knowing where it's going and how it's being spent and so forth. And that's what one of the things that the IT dashboard is supposed to do. So transparency is extremely important.
Well, lastly, we're heading into the trailing months, if you will, of the current administration, typical time of transition, people kind of beginning to think about next steps and so forth. What's your advice, having probably experienced what that's like for the current crop of CIOs and IT leaders and agencies?
Well, I think you have to take the public servant view of that. I mean, whether you're going to be in for a long period of time, or whether you're going to go out with the administration, or whether you're just going to get a new bunch of people who you're going to be working with. Either way, you need to look at it. We're going to have a new set of, there's going to be a new set of constituents who are very interested in what we're doing, and we need to leave them in the best shape possible to pick up where we left off. So we need to make sure that we're making the best recommendations for them. And if you're not careful, things can come to a complete standstill. And you don't want to do that. So you want to invest very carefully in items of your IT budget that are kind of unquestionably, these are things that would have to be done anyhow, and make sure that those things don't miss a step when you do go through transition. Because undoubtedly, there are periods where, for the 6 months before and the 6 or 10 months or 12 months afterwards, you could come to a complete stop and really not make significant progress. And if you let that happen every cycle of an administration, just think how unproductive that would be from a public sector standpoint. I mean, you're basically saying 1/4 of the time we're not getting any benefit out of the government expenditures and the tax dollars that we're paying. That's just unacceptable. So I think you really have to take that public servant view and say, what can we beneficially do that would help the next team that comes in, to help my new partners, to help move this ball forward that's unchallenged, and everybody would say this is a good investment.
Sounds like some great advice. Well, Van, thank you so much for coming by and chatting with us.
Sure.
I'm Wyatt Cash with FedScoop. You can see more of our coverage and our interviews at fedscoop.com. Thanks for joining us.